It begins with a whisper older than language itself, the struggle between power and peace. We've been told that strength is domination, that victory lies in control, that to conquer others is to rise above them. But somewhere, deep in the quiet chambers of the soul, another truth stirs, one that Lao Tzu spoke of thousands of years ago. He said, "He who conquers others is strong. He who conquers himself is mighty." Imagine a warrior returning from countless battles, medals on his chest, the world at his feet. Yet every night he fights the same unseen enemy within, his impatience, his pride, his fear. Outside, he rules empires. Inside, he kneels before his own unrest. And perhaps this is the story of us all. We fight to prove, to possess, to outshine. Yet the greatest victory waits not in the battlefield of life, but in the stillness of self. Because the hardest war is the one no one sees. The war between who we show the world and who we truly are when no one's watching. So the question remains, if strength is power over others, what then is might? We live in an age obsessed with conquest, not of nations, but of attention, status, and achievement. Our wars are fought on glowing screens now. Every scroll is a battlefield, every post a declaration. Look at me, I matter. We chase validation like oxygen, each like and comment a fleeting victory. But when the noise fades and the screen goes dark, the silence feels unbearable. We have built empires of distraction, not kingdoms of peace. We have mastered the art of appearing strong while feeling utterly fragile. We conquer jobs, markets, algorithms, yet tremble at the thought of facing ourselves. Modern strength has become an illusion. It's measured in how loud we speak, not how deeply we listen, in how much we own, not how much we understand. We wear ambition as armor, but beneath it, many of us are terrified. Terrified of stopping, terrified of stillness, terrified of seeing the parts of ourselves we've neglected. We conquer the external world because it's easier than confronting the internal one. It's simpler to silence others than to quiet our own restless mind. Easier to change the world than to change the self. And yet, no matter how far we run or how high we climb, the shadow follows. The same patterns return. The anger, the pride, the fear. Each one a messenger whispering, "You haven't won yet." Not truly. In the mirror of modern life, we see reflections of our victories, but rarely of our peace. We keep searching for strength and applause, forgetting that might lives in surrender. We've mistaken motion for progress and noise for life. Because conquering others feeds the ego, but conquering oneself feeds the soul. So perhaps the paradox of our time is this: the stronger we try to appear to the world, the weaker we become within. And in the pursuit of dominance, we've lost the quiet art of mastery. Mastery over our thoughts, our impulses, our fears, the very essence of what makes us mighty. And so the question deepens. If the modern world celebrates control, can true power exist in letting go? To conquer oneself, it sounds simple, poetic even. But it is the most terrifying journey a human can take. Because to face yourself is to dismantle every illusion you've built for safety. It is to walk barefoot through the ruins of your own ego and find, among the dust, something real. Lao Tzu's wisdom is not about submission or weakness. It is about sovereignty, not over others, but over the chaos that lives within. He saw that the human heart is the greatest empire, and that every emotion, every desire, every fear is a province constantly rebelling for control. To conquer yourself means learning to rule that empire with compassion and awareness. It is not a war of suppression. It is an act of understanding. It means meeting your anger and asking, "What are you trying to protect?" It means hearing your fear and whispering, "You can rest now." It means turning your gaze inward when the world demands your attention outward. The modern man believes power is in resistance, but the wise man learns that true strength lies in surrender, not to defeat, but to truth. You stop fighting what is. You begin seeing what has always been there. There's a quiet kind of power that emerges when you stop running from yourself, when you no longer need to impress, defend, or prove. It's the power of being unshakably honest. To conquer yourself is to unlearn the reflex to control others. It's to realize that your reactions, not the world around you, determine your peace. That your impatience is not caused by traffic. It's a mirror showing you your resistance to the present moment. That your envy of others is not about their success, but your disconnection from your own path. Each emotion that disturbs us is not an enemy, but a messenger. They arrive not to be destroyed, but to be listened to. And when you listen deeply enough, you begin to notice something miraculous. Every so-called weakness carries the seed of its opposite. Fear reveals where courage is waiting to grow. Anger shows where love has been blocked. Sadness uncovers where joy wants to return. Every shadow, when held in light, transforms. But most people never get there, because self-conquest demands stillness, and stillness feels unbearable in a world addicted to motion. We fill every silence with noise, because silence threatens to expose the truths we've buried. We chase endless goals because achievement keeps us safely distracted. Yet, no battle ever ends until the real one is faced, the battle within. And in that realization, a new kind of courage begins to emerge. Imagine sitting alone, without your phone, without music, without conversation, just you and your thoughts. At first, the mind panics. It claws for stimulation, for escape. But if you stay long enough, something shifts. The noise settles, and beneath it you hear something faint but profound. Your own awareness. This awareness is the throne from which you rule your inner world, not by force, but by presence. It observes every thought without judgment, every feeling without resistance. It neither clings nor rejects. It simply sees. And in that seeing, you reclaim your power. The mighty one, Lao Tzu teaches, is not the warrior who wins 1,000 battles, but the soul who has ended the war within. Because once you understand yourself, truly, deeply, no one else can control you. Not through praise, not through blame. The opinions of the world become passing weather. Your peace remains the sky. The man who conquers himself is untouchable, not because he builds walls, but because he no longer needs them. He moves through life with quiet confidence. He listens more than he speaks. He acts without needing validation. He forgives because holding anger would mean waging war on his own heart. He no longer measures strength in comparison, but in composure, in the ability to remain kind when wronged, calm when provoked, and steady when uncertain. This is might, not domination, but equanimity, not victory, but harmony. And it is in this harmony that the world's chaos loses its power over you. When Lao Tzu spoke of conquering oneself, he was not proposing isolation or detachment from life. He was inviting us into full participation, but from a place of centered awareness. He was teaching that when you master your inner reactions, you stop being a slave to the outer world. You begin to live intentionally, not impulsively. To conquer yourself is to dissolve the illusion of separateness, the idea that you and the world are two different things. When you calm your inner storm, the world outside calms with it. When you understand your own pain, you become incapable of adding more to others. This is the alchemy of awareness. The outer world becomes a mirror, reflecting not what you want, but who you are. And when you change who you are, the reflection transforms effortlessly. This is why the mightiest humans rarely look mighty at all. They move quietly, speak softly, act humbly, yet their presence changes everything. They have learned that peace is not the absence of conflict, but the mastery of response, that love is not weakness, but the highest form of strength. To conquer yourself, then, is not an end. It's a return to your original state, before fear took over, before comparison clouded your sight, before ego whispered, you were not enough. It's remembering that you were whole long before you tried to become someone. And in that remembrance lies liberation. So perhaps Lao Tzu was not describing power as we know it, but awakening. The moment you stop fighting with yourself and begin living with yourself. And in that quiet realization, something shifts again. The war is over. Because the mightiest victory is peace. There was once a man who lived at the edge of a great mountain. Every morning, before the sun rose, he would set out to climb it. He carried a heavy pack on his shoulders, filled with stones, each one marked with a name: fear, pride, regret, anger. He believed that at the summit he would find peace. And so he climbed, day after day, year after year. At first the villagers admired him. They said, "Look how strong he is. He never gives up." And indeed he was strong, his muscles carved by struggle, his will unbreakable. But as time passed, something strange began to happen. The mountain did not get smaller. The pack did not get lighter. And no matter how high he climbed, peace always seemed one ridge farther away. One day, exhausted and alone, he met an old wanderer sitting on a stone halfway up the mountain. The wanderer had no pack, no supplies, no destination, just a calm smile and empty hands. The climber scoffed, "You'll never reach the top sitting here." The wanderer looked up at the sky and replied softly, "I already have." The climber frowned. "Impossible. You haven't moved an inch." The wanderer nodded. "True, because the mountain was never outside me." The climber stared, confused. "What do you mean?" The old man gestured toward the heavy pack. "Every stone you carry, that is your mountain. You believe the summit is somewhere above the clouds, but it lives in here." He touched his chest. "Until you lay these stones down, you will climb forever." The climber's anger flared. "You don't understand. These stones are what make me strong." The wanderer smiled gently. "No, they only make you tired." And then, without another word, the wanderer rose and began walking down the mountain. Light, unburdened, silent. The climber stood frozen. The wind whistled through the canyon. He wanted to argue, but something deep within him shifted. For the first time, he looked not at the peak, but at the weight he carried. One by one, he opened his pack. He took out a stone marked pride and set it on the ground, then fear, then regret. Each time he felt lighter, but also more afraid. Because without his burdens, who was he? As the last stone fell, he sat down. The silence was unbearable at first, but slowly something miraculous happened. He began to hear sounds he had never noticed before. The rustle of the wind, the song of distant birds, the rhythm of his own breath. And within that stillness, he felt something he had been chasing all his life. Peace. He realized that the summit had never been above him. It had always been within him. The mountain was not meant to be conquered. It was meant to be understood. Years later, travelers who passed through the valley spoke of a man who lived at the mountain's base. He no longer climbed. He simply sat beside the river, teaching others how to remove the stones from their packs. People said he looked ordinary. Gray hair, weathered hands, gentle eyes. But when he spoke, the noise in their minds grew still. When he smiled, the burdens on their backs felt lighter. He never spoke of victory or ambition. He only said one thing over and over. The mightiest man is not the one who reaches the top, but the one who learns to set his burden down. And sometimes at sunset, when the wind swept through the valley, the mountain itself seemed to whisper in agreement. Because the story of that man is the story of all of us. We climb through life carrying everything we think defines us: success, reputation, wounds, expectations, believing that someday, somewhere, at some invisible height, peace will greet us. But the truth, like the old wanderer's smile, is far simpler. The mountain does not move because it doesn't need to. It is we who must learn to stand still. And in that stillness, when we finally stop climbing and start listening, we might just hear what Lao Tzu heard long ago, that conquering yourself isn't the end of the journey. It's the beginning of freedom. There comes a moment in every life when the climb feels unbearable, when the weight of everything we've tried to control, relationships, careers, emotions, even destiny, becomes too heavy to lift another step. And in that moment, something inside whispers, "Let go." But letting go feels like failure, because we've been taught that surrender is weakness. That if we stop striving, we'll fall behind. That if we stop fighting, we'll lose. Yet maybe that whisper is not the voice of defeat, but the beginning of wisdom. To conquer yourself is to stand at that very edge where effort meets acceptance and choose stillness over struggle. It's to finally admit, I don't need to win every battle to be at peace. It's realizing that you can stop running, stop chasing, stop proving, and still be whole. Think about it. Every time you've forced something, a dream, a love, an outcome, hasn't life quietly shown you that control is an illusion? Haven't the moments of deepest peace always arrived unannounced when you stopped trying to force them? like the sigh after tears, like the calm after a storm, like the breath you didn't know you were holding. That is the strength Lao Tzu spoke of, the might that rises not from power, but from presence. There is a reason the universe breaks us open, to teach us that peace was never earned, only remembered. When you stop grasping, life reveals its natural rhythm. The mind grows quiet, and in that quiet you realize the person you were fighting all along was never the world, never them. It was you. And suddenly forgiveness makes sense. Forgiveness not just for others, but for yourself, for the choices you made out of fear, for the times you silenced your truth to be loved, for the battles you kept fighting long after they were over. Because the moment you forgive yourself, you put down the final stone. The mountain flattens. The sky clears, and in that space, you feel something new. Not victory, not triumph, but peace so still, it humbles you. Strength, it turns out, isn't found in resistance. It's in the gentleness to be human, to fall and rise again, but without bitterness. To love without demanding, to walk away without hatred, to face your reflection and say, I am enough, even now. Because conquering yourself means no longer needing to be more than you are. It's living without the noise of comparison. It's being able to sit in silence and feel safe. The mightiest souls are not the loudest, but the ones whose calm can quiet a room. The ones who have turned every wound into wisdom, every fear into awareness. They have learned to live without armor, because their peace is their protection. So perhaps this is the truth Lao Tzu wanted us to discover, that the greatest conquest is not upward, but inward. That might is not measured in victories, but in serenity, and that the soul's final triumph is learning to rest. When you stop fighting yourself, the world stops fighting you. And in that stillness, you finally see, you were never meant to conquer the world. You were meant to come home to yourself. So now, take a breath, not a shallow one, not one made of habit, but the kind that reaches deep into your chest and reminds you that you are still here. In this breath, there is no past to correct, no future to chase, only the present, the soft, unshakable moment where peace begins. The world will continue to pull at you, demanding noise, effort, proof. But you've seen through that illusion now. You've remembered the truth Lao Tzu whispered centuries ago, that the mightiest victory is not domination, but understanding. To conquer yourself is to befriend your own mind, to forgive your own heart, to walk through the noise of life with the quiet knowing that you are already complete. So tonight, when the world quiets down, don't reach for your phone. Don't try to fill the silence. Just sit with yourself, the real you, beneath the roles and the striving, and listen. You may hear the faint echo of a mountain wind, the rustle of leaves, or the steady rhythm of your own heartbeat. That sound is victory, the gentle drum of a life no longer at war with itself. Let it remind you that peace was never something to be found. It was something to be remembered. And so, when you ask what it means to be mighty, the answer is simple. To know yourself, and still choose to love what you find. The mightiest warrior is the one who no longer needs a war.